Newsmax brought a farmer on to praise Donald Trump's bailout plan. Instead, he tore Donald Trump apart. Now, as you know, right now, Donald Trump's tariffs are destroying farmers. China has not bought a single soybean this quarter, and they're our largest export market. And farmers are hurting, and Donald Trump has a plan to send them some of the tariff money. Well, Newsmax brought a farmer on to praise those tariffs, but it went a little differently than planned.
I'm paying that tariff because my importer, John Deere, paid it. They paid it directly to the Treasury. Now, the President of the United States is going to take my money and give it back to me and call it a bailout. That's just comical.
Yeah, they're going to take my money. My inputs have been raised. I'm paying these tariffs. You're giving me my money back, and you want me to thank you? Newsmax tried to get praise for Deere leader. Instead, it backfired beautifully. And that is well done by this farmer. Donald Trump is doing nothing to help them, only hurt them, and even they are calling it out.
So if there were a bailout, right, which the president is apparently considering, what would that mean?
Well, the stopgap needs to come because they've kind of painted the farmer in a corner. I mean, I want trade, not aid. I need a market. I need a place to sell this stuff. I can work hard enough and make a product. If you give me some place to sell it, I'll take care of myself. But they've painted us in a corner with this China deal and China buying no soybeans. I mean, they've tore our market in half. I mean, if you take the 4 years prior to Trump's first tariff war, the average price of a bushel of soybeans is $12.54. The average price for the 4 years during Trump's first tariff war is $9.39. That's a $163 an acre swing to the minus. The next 4 years after the tariff war, the average price is $13.59. That's a $218 upswing. Now we're back to $10.21. I think the board is today. My local elevator's $9.79, so I'm at $172 an acre loss. I mean, the farmer can't continue to produce a crop below the cost of production, and that's where we're at, and we don't have anywhere to sell it. We're in a tariff war with China. We're in a tariff war with everybody else. I mean, where do they want me to market this stuff?
That's what happens when the truth starts catching up, man. These farmers thought Trump was their savior. The man would fix trade and China and make America great again. But instead, his tariffs hit them harder than anyone else. You just heard it. China stopped buying soybeans, one of their biggest exports. Farmers were begging for fair trade, not handouts. But what did Trump do? He threw them bailout money that actually came from their own tax dollars. Think about that. He took their money, gave it back to them, and called it a victory. And these same farmers still lined up to vote for him again in 2024. The same man who rocked their markets, drove their prices down, and made their survival depend on government checks, all while bragging about how great the economy was. This right here shows exactly how Trump's so-called America First really worked. It was never about helping working Americans. It was about protecting the illusion. Farmers became political props in his trade war, and now they're realizing that winning doesn't feel so great when you are losing your farm. So today we are reacting to Trump's tariffs backfiring hard, from a Newsmax interview gone wrong, to farmers roasting bailouts lies, to everyone people asking why their tax money is being used to clean up a mess Trump created himself. If you are new here, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into the video, because this one exposes the truth about who really paid the price for Trump's trade war. Let's go into the video.
And now we're having trouble selling.
Okay.
So we need those markets.
I have to ask, where do you stand on the White House's idea of helping farmers with tariff money that is being collected?
That's the most ridiculous thing. Let me explain to you.
Okay.
Or your listeners, excuse me. Those tariffs I'm paying on inputs just this spring, and all of our parts, many of our parts come from other countries, all right? Just this spring. I go to my local John Deere dealer. I need a chain for my corn planter. I take it out of the box, John Deere box, dealt with these people for 40 years, John Deere part number, turn it over, it says made from China. Okay, I'm thinking, wow, that's odd. I just paid a tariff on that doggone thing. So here's the deal. I'm paying that tariff because my importer, John Deere, paid it. They paid it directly to the Treasury. Now the President of the United States is going to take my money and give it back to me and call it a bailout. That's just comical. And I tell you what, this administration has got agriculture, has got farmers exactly where they want them. And that is in need of what only Trump can deliver, and that's a bailout. What a terrible place for agriculture to be. Farmers are independent. They are independent businessmen and women, and they want to live off the land. They're creating income off the land for their communities, and President Trump has them right where he wants them.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right.
So, according to Wall Street Journal, Trump is working on a $10 billion bailout plan for U.S. farmers. As most of us know, Trump's tariffs has highly affected U.S. farmers. And come to find out, China has not bought any soybeans from them since the beginning of this year. Now, remember when Trump was stating that the money that has been brought into the U.S. from the tariffs, he was going to give to the farmers. Well, that's not so, because now those of us who pay taxes will have to foot that $10 billion bill. And why do we have to do that? Because he initially screwed something up in the beginning that shouldn't have been screwed up, and now the taxpayers have to foot the bill. When are people going to get that this man is nothing but a failure? That's all that he is. He's a failure.
You see how insane that is? Trump's promised the tariffs will bring in money from China, their money, but instead it came straight out of Americans' pockets. He basically taxed his own people to pay off the damage his own policies caused. And it's not like it was some small bailout. We're talking about billions here. That's money that could have gone in infrastructure, education, or healthcare. Things that actually help regular folks. But no, it went to clean up a self-inflicted economic disaster. And here's the kicker. Farmers were cheering for it, thinking Trump was helping them, when in reality he was just spinning the story. That's why some of these farmers are saying he took my money and gave it back to me. They are finally seeing the scam. But let's not pretend everyone learned the lesson. Some still think fought for America. Nah, he fought for attention. He fought to look strong while leaving working people to deal with the fallout. At this point, even Trump's biggest supporters can't deny it. The trade war is just a war on common sense. Let's continue.
Breaking news. Donald Trump is planning billions of dollars of bailout for the farmers. What? Yes, the soybean farmers and all the other farmers that Trump's tariffs have cost them billions. He's now planning to use our tax dollars to bail them out after his tariffs have wrecked their business. And I say no bailout. We can't bail out Americans protecting their health care. We can't protect them from their Affordable Care Act subsidies. We can't do it on Medicaid. We can't feed our children and others under SNAP and various programs. We have trouble with school lunches. We are cut Meals on Wheels for the elderly. But again, we're going to send billions to farmers now that Trump's tariffs have cost them their livelihood. I mean, this is so messed up. The tariffs caused all the problems to begin with. Maybe we should cut Trump's salary and all of his administration's salary because they clearly don't know what they're doing. What do you think? No bailout for farmers? What do you think? Cut Trump salaries, all of his employees, all of his administration? Yep, all of them. Let me know what you think. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my brand labels. We use this spatula to spatula them up. What do you think?
$68 billion. $68 billion is how much that Donald Trump gave the farmers for a bailout between 2019 and 2020 as a result of his first trade war, his first term. $68 billion. Are you ready to give $68 billion again just to farmers while you are living paycheck to paycheck? Because we have the worst president in history who doesn't know simple math. $68 billion. China is the #1 buyer of soybeans in the United States. Last year, it was almost $13 billion that we sold. Money from China. Are you ready to give $68 billion to farmers? Your taxes haven't gone down. In fact, the national deficit is skyrocketing. We have cut any social services for you, the taxpayer. There are no more social programs for kids who can't even buy lunch. You should all be asking, is this a Trump failed economy? And at what point do we pull the plug on this?
It's wild, man. $68 billion of taxpayer money. And for what? To cover up a mistake that could have been avoided from day one. Trump created a problem, then paid people with their own money to fix it. That's not leadership, that's manipulation. And look who's paying the price. Everyday Americans, the same ones struggling to buy groceries, pay rent, and keep the light on. Meanwhile, Trump's out there calling it a great deal. A great deal for who? Because if farmers were truly winning, we wouldn't be seeing them lose their land, their buyers, and their livelihoods. Let's be real, he used those farmers like props in a political stunt. He told them the tariffs would punish China, but in reality, China just turned around and bought soybeans from Brazil, from Argentina instead. So the only ones punished were the farmers who believed in him, right? And what's crazy, some of them still defend him. That's how deep the reality runs. It's like they would rather go broke than admit they were wrong. But that's the price of blind faith in a man who never cared about them to begin with. Let's continue.
Hell, I might lose some followers for this, but I don't really give a fuck. Trump thinks farmers are fucking stupid. And before you lose your shit, let me explain. In retaliation to a trade war that they fucking started, China and other countries are no longer buying crops from American farmers. So what does Trump do? He comes out and says that he's going to use tariff revenue to bail them out. But who pays for that tariff? Oh, that's right, the American taxpayer, because the companies they buy their products from have now passed that cost of that tariff on to them. The problem isn't that we're bailing out farmers. I believe we need to bail them out. We need to support small farmers so they don't have to sell their land to big-ass corporations who will then in turn just own more of our land and more of our food chain supply. The problem is that the American consumer, who are also farmers by the way, cover the cost of that tariff at the checkout aisle and at the parts store. And now the federal government is going to use that money to pay the farmer for the money they lost as a result of a trade war that they fucking started. They are using American consumers and American farmers to solve a problem that they fucking created. And then they're going to stamp their name on it and say, see, we're for the farmer. No, the fuck you ain't. You're just too stupid, or even worse, you think they're too stupid to know that you're the one who created this fucking problem in the first place. Meanwhile, their rich fucking buddies just got even richer because they didn't have to touch that fucking tariff, and we just got fucking poorer.
Trump explores bailout of at least $10 billion for U.S. farmers. Man, you just can't make this up. Farmers, you voted for this guy that is tanking your farms out there. But hey, let's don't help students with their student loan debt because they need to pay what they have to pay because they took it out. Well, guess what, farmers? I say you pay for your stuff, and if you going under, you going under. Because other farmers are doing fine. It's just some of you aren't doing fine. So guess what? No bailout for you. But you'll get it, and you'll take it, just like the rest of the farm aid that you get every year. And don't tell me you don't get it, because I got a website that will look it up. So, welcome to the fascist government that you created. Like and follow below.
That's the truth right there. They voted for Trump, they cheered for the tariffs, and now they are the ones losing everything because of those same policies. It's the definition of cause and effect. Action have consequences. Farmers thought Trump was fighting for them. What he really did was gamble the entire industry to feed his ego. He started a trade war that America couldn't win and called it patriotism. Meanwhile, other countries like China just moved on, found new partners, left these farmers behind. And the worst part, when it all started falling apart, Trump didn't take responsibility. He just threw taxpayer money at the problem to keep up appearances, using everyone else's pockets to hide his failure. That's not leadership, that's politics at its dirtiest. This whole story is a reminder that loyalty without logic is dangerous. These farmers didn't just lose money, they lost credibility, stability, and in some cases, their land. And still, some are out there pretending this was all part of some master plan. No, this was a scam from the start. The tariffs didn't protect America, they exposed how easily Americans can be manipulated by slogans like America First. So next time someone talks about taking the country back, remember what it cost these farmers. Because when a leader promises to fight for the people but ends up fighting the economy instead, it's always the working class that pays the price. If you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. People need to see what really happened, not the spin, but the truth. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all, and I wish you peace and love where you are. Stay safe. See you to the next one. Bye bye.